Now, there's a truck over to my left, your right. You see that?
Yeah.
That's a donor truck.
Really?
Stay tuned.
Oh, that's a 25 plus. Donor truck.
Wow. Oh, snap. No way. Who is this guy?
What's happening?
What's up, brother?
So I had to get a hug in.
Hey, you gotta
going on,
introduce
guys?
yourself, man. Introduce yourself to the channel.
Jay Tillis, marketing director here at Banks Power.
Dude, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, right?
Yeah, this is my first time being here.
We're one building away from being able to put a gate across the entire street and calling it Gale Banks Way. So that's what we'd like to do. We're just trying to get the one building at the end of the cul-de-sac.
Oh, right there, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, we have the two buildings behind me, the two buildings behind this one, the two across the street here. This is Banks Tech, these two buildings here. We have another 30,000 square foot, the one with the ladder behind that, and then 5 2,000 square foot units to the left of that one. So yeah, it's a pretty big campus. Yeah, we have, well, I'll take you through all of it. If you want, first thing we got to check you in.
Okay, let's
So
do
you
that.
have to get a little fancy badge.
That's I like that.
All right, this way.
I'm gonna be a part of the Banks family.
Yeah. All right, this is the 547 building. This is Gale Banks' office. It's also mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and fabrication. Come on in.
There he is.
There he is. Down the hallway here. Some other neat photos. There are a lot of people that don't know that the first half of Gale's career in motorsport engine development was in marine. Offshore racing, both in California, Florida, around the world. He did river racing, he did endurance racing, and his kind of claim to fame was not just big power, it's that his engines lasted longer. While other guys were having to pit, change engines, he was able to do entire races or entire seasons on one engine. And while other guys were running superchargers, he was running turbochargers.
Wow.
He was so early on the turbocharger game that they called them Gale Banks hair dryers because they look like a hair dryer.
Yeah.
Now everything you drive has a turbo on it, but back then it was new technology. That's how long Gale has been in the turbo scene.
So that says 1984, and yeah, back in 1984, diesels were like really not like peppy at all. Just had a lot
this
of
is
torque.
not diesel.
That's
So he
gas.
was. This is gas.
Yeah. So
from
but
1958 when he started up and through we still do gas today.
Sure.
But that was the bulk of his market was gas performance, big block, small block, you name it. Whether it's gas, it's a methanol, any fuel. He's fuel agnostic. That doesn't matter to him. What happened? We all know him today for diesel performance. And that's because he was the first one to release a turbo system for a naturally aspirated diesel pickup truck engine. And that happened in the early 80s. Back in the mid 80s, you could go into any GMC dealer in the country and buy a Gale Banks Sidewinder turbo system for your naturally aspirated GM 6.2 liter pickup truck or Suburban. And that started the diesel aftermarket. And that's why we know him for diesel today.
Right.
But prior to that, he was all about gasoline engines, turbocharged and occasionally supercharged. And so that's, quite a history.
But everyone was into supercharged because it was a quicker throttle response and not so much turbo delay and all that stuff, right?
Turbos weren't around.
Yeah.
Turbos were for airplanes and other applications, and they just weren't in automotive applications. So he brought it to the marine community first, winning boat races. He was outlawed by the APBA. He was eventually banned from the NHRA for using turbo systems because they were more reliable, bigger power, just a myriad of reasons. But here we are today where, again, everyone's running turbos, and he was really early on with both diesel and turbo systems. This is in San Gabriel, California. Gale Banks Racing Engines, as you can see, marine and car. He was all about fast and endurance. His engines had to last. That's how he was going to win the race. This was the world's fastest pickup, and I believe the record still stands at 222 miles per hour for a Cummins-powered Dodge Dakota.
That Gale Banks created.
100%. We built the entire vehicle here.
Wow.
Yes.
Is that vehicle still around?
It is. It's in the NHRA Museum, only about 10 miles from here.
Nice.
We have the Gale Banks Technology Wing, or Technology Experience, and that's a several thousand foot area inside the NHRA Museum in Pomona by the LA Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
And anyone can go in there and you can see hundreds of race cars from various drivers. And we have an entire wing where you can see all of our race cars, most of our race cars, and a history of engines. And there's a company history along this windowed wall that's incredible, all the way from the first radio controlled lawnmower that Gale made in high school, a remote controlled lawnmower in high school, up to today. It's really neat.
Wow. And just in case you guys missed it, 21.2 miles to the gallon with 735 horsepower and 1,300 pound-feet of torque and 5.9 compass.
This truck towed its own trailer to the Bonneville Salt Flats. It unhooked the trailer, it set the world record, hooked the trailer up, and then drove back to California.
Wow.
Right?
That's insane.
Wow.
This is our wall of patents.
Oh, wow.
You'll see things like a ram air rear differential cover patent. This is a collector here for exhaust. We've got the exhaust system that will be on your truck. This is our sidekick tip.
Uh-huh.
And people just think a lot of our parts are just pretty. There is so much science that goes on in the development of our parts. Just, this is a rubber coupler. You think, I could go to 100 manufacturers and buy a rubber coupler.
Right.
The shape of this rubber coupler is patented. We use NASA rocket nozzle technology wherever we can. And wherever we can apply it to an intake and exhaust system, if there isn't an existing patent, we will patent it. And so it is why our engines and our equipment runs so efficiently. We're making the most of every curve. We are stripping away all of the resistance to airflow that we can possibly remove. And a lot of these patents are in the search of airflow, right? In the quest to improve airflow and reduce back pressure, or again, resistance to airflow. It speaks to a lot of these patents here. So this over here is just 1 day's worth, well, about a half a day's worth of packages outbound going to FedEx, as you can see here. And we fill up 1 to 2 55-foot long trailers every single day. I mean, it's a warehouse. We've all seen warehouses before, but for a Banks fan, this is a lot of banks in one place.
Yeah. And it goes back. You guys see that?
I know, if you've ever seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, if you're an old guy like me, and when at the very last scene in the first Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he's pushing it into the warehouse, the Ark of the Covenant, and it's just a sea of boxes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what this warehouse is.
Wow. And this is just one warehouse here.
This is one of several. Yes,
Yeah.
This is finished goods, so this is where we keep your Monster Ram, your Transpan, after it's already been assembled and boxed, but we have the raw pieces, the nuts, bolts, screws, fuel lines, gaskets, everything in the other warehouse across the way, which we'll take you to next. All right, Justin, you give me the camera. I'm gonna shoot you now, okay? Come over here. He's gonna show you how to put a kit together. This is a ram air transmission pan.
Okay. One right there. One right there. I'll do one right here.
You don't want the fabric to be.
But normally there's 3 of them. Okay, so whoever gets this box that has 5 staples on the back of it, JB put this together. Normally it comes with 3, but JB put 2 extras
Hey,
in
extra
the
love,
This
extra
is the
love.
nugget. JB. I'm not gonna say this is not one of our best built boxes. I'm just being
Sorry,
honest
guys.
here.
It's my first time though, right?
Jay,
Right.
what is this part?
What is it? This is final. Well, I get packaging.
No, but what part is it?
Oh,
take the
this is
bottom?
a ram air transmission pan, I believe. Is that what we're putting here?
Ram air
we go.
transmission pan for what vehicle?
This is a 17 to 19 Duramax.
Okay, so you guys out there watching.
This is like
find
wet,
this box.
too.
I want to know who gets this box. That's the part number right there.
See here. Hey, you made it look easy, buddy. There we go.
Here's the tractor.
All right, push it down.
Oh yeah.
Get it
Right
solid there.
I might have a little bit too much on that side. There we go. We did it.
know the old saying where it's either made on a Monday or a Friday? This is made on a Friday by JB. This is how the box label.
Put the product label right here. Nice and straight.
There you go. I'm gonna hand this to you for. I like your commentary.
There we go, right there.
And then we're gonna get a.
Oh, that's the fun part.
Custom made.
Oh. All the expanding liquid.
Heat it up a little bit.
Oh, so this. Oh, wow.
Right in there quick.
Oh, I see. Okay. It's hot too, by the way. Really hot. Let's drop this in. So that's how it forms the shape in here.
Yeah, that's what
Wow. Long.
First day on the job.
First day on the job.
You got the glasses. You got the
Dude, this is
staple
awesome.
gun.
Hey, can I work here?
No.
You just gonna talk?
You already used too many staples. That comes out of the bottom line.
Hey, I'll pay for 2 of them. How about that?
All right, you're putting in the instructions.
The instructions in.
All right, and the Banks decal. Don't forget the decal.
So we're gonna get a screwdriver.
Are we
Okay.
putting in a license plate frame too?
Yeah.
Yeah, put in a license plate frame down the side here. All right. So look at this. Come in every package. There you go. All right. Oh, the ram air scoop. Where does that go?
Scooper. Okay. I may have to pay for this for somebody, okay? This doesn't look as pretty as he did.
A shop out there is going to open this one up and
Oh,
say,
okay.
man, what was going on this day?
A little fast?
Oh, no, it's expanding. Oh, no, oh, no.
There we go.
No, that's not how it works, Justin.
Am I fired? I think I'm fired, guys.
I don't know. It's like the blob making its way out. How do we fix this?
We got it.
Is there a way to do it?
We did it.
But you're crunching the box.
Yeah, we did it.
It's all working out.
So
All right.
I'm still employed. I'm still employed. I'll let you, yeah, go ahead and let me see how you do that. Nice. Just 3 staples. That's all you need, guys. See?
Give it a good pat. Just seal the approval there. Okay, let's get a picture. Hold it up. Hold it up.
Did we do it?
Together, teamwork.
Come on, get in here. No, you hold
Yeah,
it.
teamwork.
They're not going to ship this out, guys.
Yes, they are. Don't forget. Don't forget. That's the part number, and there's what 6 staples, 5 staples underneath.
There you go.
Okay.
Is it me? Oh, it's going out. It's going on the. It's going on the pallet.
Look at that. It actually, you can't. If we sat here and pulled these all apart and restacked them, you wouldn't be able to tell which one it is.
Nope.
Some
Good
lucky
night.
customer is going to end up with a JBREVIEWS packed ram air transmission pan.
Is this 19?
17 to 19 Duramax.
Yeah, 17, 19 Duramax, guys. So if you get one and you have 5 staples, it was me.
We're not far from a rock quarry, so we get some dust in the area. You'll find that there are bags on our engines, but there's good reason for those bags. We have, this is a twin turbo small block, so we do, again, gas engine right here. This is going to be cleaned up. This is a test mule, but this will end up over at the museum, the NHRE museum right there. But Gale Bank Sidewinder turbos right here. 350, 3 through
I think this is a 350.
Yeah. Wow. Now let me explain why this Cummins is important. This is the engine that set that record that you just saw inside at 222 miles per hour. And this Banks Big Haas side draft manifold was designed to set that world record. Does this look familiar?
It does look familiar.
This is in the new 25 and 26 Cummins. Back in the day, Cummins asked Gale if they could borrow his design for the side draft, and they didn't do anything with it for 20 some odd years. And here they are today. Cummins finally releases the new 6.7, because before you had the Monstram, which is that intake elbow right here.
Yep.
They've now shaved off the side of the head and gone with a side draft intake manifold, just like the Banks Big Hoss that Gale had designed all those years ago.
Wow. Yeah, and just so you guys don't know, Ram actually dubs this their performance intake manifold when they did the unveil of this engine too.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And so this engine, when it was in the truck after it set the world record at the Bonneville Salt Flats, went to Cummins and went to Ram dealers or Dodge dealers back then all around the country. So, and Gale worked with Cummins and calibrated our dyno against their dyno. And so there was a lot of hand in glove collaboration back then. And it's just interesting that it took them all these years to finally take advantage of this side draft intake design that Gale pioneered all those years ago.
Now, what year did they build this engine?
This is an 0359.
Okay. So that's a 24 valve too, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. You guys see the cast iron block?
So this engine is also headed over. We had it on display for an event that we have. It's going back to the NHRA museum.
Okay. I'm just gonna show the side too. We got big old turbo. The exhaust manifold right here. Now, did he build this exhaust manifold?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, look at the size of this turbine.
I know, it's huge.
Behind me, you'll see our 2026 Ram 6.7. And what we're doing is emissions compliance testing. And you've been standing here for the last 20 minutes, and he's still going.
Yep.
This is not a normal dyno test where you just hit the pedal and you go 0 to 60 or quarter mile or 80 to 100. It's not those tests. This will go on for like an hour. And he's basically following what looks like a video game on the screen, where it has an upper limit and a lower limit, and it goes up and down, and he has to stay in the middle. You can't go too high or too low with his pedal. Like that helicopter game from the 80s, you know, where you're traveling up the mountains. So he has to follow this particular outline, and it has to pass. Meanwhile, we are taking samples at the exhaust pipe. We are cataloging, data logging all of the sensors on the truck. Every temp, every pressure, every delta. We're even looking at tire temp in the back. Oh, wow. Everything is being monitored. Everything will go into the test plan, and if it passes, we'll basically know that the truck is ready to then go to CARB, California Air Resource Board, and it will pass the emissions compliance testing. So a lot of guys, a lot of companies don't have one of these systems. So they go to CARB and they spend a ton of money trying to get it to pass the test. We know that it will pass before we even go there. Wow. These trucks will get completely heat soaked. We do all sorts of testing out here that other people don't do. You know, we do intercooler testing. We'll run the truck to redline, and we'll keep it at redline until the truck actually derates, until the ECM starts pulling out power. We'll do lug down tests. We do, I mean, it's incredible. We had an RV out here a couple weeks ago doing testing for a product I can't talk about yet. But yeah, he's still going.
Yeah.
It's not normal. And notice that the hood is not up. If there's anything you take away from this video, it's that the hood is not up. Why is that? Because you can't drive with the hood up.
Yeah.
So why would you test that way? We want everything to be heat soaked the same way that you would drive down the road, right? So we have the Banks wind machine that back in the late 80s, Gale was in Texas and found a dilapidated car wash with 2 fans, and took the fans and rehabbed them, and those we're still using them today. Then on the very back wall, you'll see 2 squirrel cage fans. Those are blowing underneath the ground and through and up into the absorbers, the rollers, keeping it all cool, and the tires cool. Because after 2 hours of this, the tires are basically coming apart, The rollers are red hot. The absorber, which is the brake, which is trying to slow the wheels, it's all molten lava hot. So we're trying our best to keep it cool. We've been standing here now for a few minutes. We're going again. Relentless.
That's awesome.
So the white truck over here is a 26, and I can't tell you what we're doing to that, but if you have a Ram, 25 or 26, the next generation, we've got parts coming for that very soon. That was the 26 outside on the dyno. Now we stepped inside the test group area. This is where the instrumentation is placed on the truck. So what Robert is here doing is he's pulled off the entire front clip of this truck, starting with an air mouse, a Banks air mouse ambient sensor up front that'll tell us pressure, temperature, and humidity that is hitting the nose of the truck. And then there will be temperature and pressure sensors placed all throughout the engine and all throughout the cooling system. And that will all be data logged on an iDash Data Pro on the A-pillar at 20 samples per second. I think you're running an iDash in your truck, right, Justin?
Correct.
So that will collect all the data there, and then we'll comb through the data after the fact. You know, we'll just open it up on a computer and look at it and decide if the modifications that we've done are good or bad, and we do it incrementally. And it takes a lot of time. But this area, this test group area here, again, is where we'll pull the truck apart and start laying in all the sensors. If you look down here, Robert's just begun putting in thermal couples. Those are temperature sensors, analog temperature sensors. They'll run into these brown cables. They'll go into our Banks 4-channel analog module, and then through this black cable here, we'll go into the iDash, which is mounted on the A-pillar. But when he's done, there will just be an absolute, there'll be 100 pounds of wire in here that wasn't here from the factory. The magic to what we do here is that it's all incremental. It's done just like NASA would do it. It just baby steps and looking at the data every step of the way and isolating. We don't just throw a bunch of parts on and say, what did it all do? Every single component is tested independently. There's no other variables other than the one component that we're installing at that moment. Behind you is a chamber that will either heat up components or cool them down. So at what point does a circuit fail? You know, freezing temperatures or 200 degrees, whatever it is, this chamber will let us know that. I'm gonna whisper because it's kind of like a library in here. This is electrical engineering. In this department, so there's a couple different sides of this building here, but we have firmware, software, hardware component. We have basically soup to nuts in this office. When you buy a Banks iDash, a PedalMonster, a Derringer tuner, it's conceptualized here, it's designed here, all the circuitry is procured here. Everything happens under this roof, and it's built 4 miles away in Monrovia, California. So this is not like Chinese electronics that we're just putting a Banks sticker on. Everything's done here. Come over here. Rick, we're bum rushing you. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
Hey, how are you?
Another tour.
Welcome.
This is some fascinating stuff. So Rick is a master at not just design, but also forensics. So as we're developing a product, the first step is in the development is making the electronics that will test whatever you've just designed. So Rick is part of the team. Among many of his jobs, he will design the test units that will test our Derringers, our iDashes, our PedalMonsters, all that stuff. So that's like this rig that you're looking at here. This is a test unit. Am I saying this correctly?
Yes.
Okay, Rick. So, sorry, that's a schematic. I don't know if I should be showing that on camera.
That's all right.
You'll see a lot of electronics test, just pieces that he's tested over time. 3D printed test rigs with pogo pins. So you basically take your iDash, it pushes in, and then that mates with the contacts, and then it's connected to a computer system that we've designed in-house. And you can tell when you pop the cases off, all the circuit boards are emblazoned with Banks logos. We call it BPS, Banks per square inch, or BPSI. And but look over here, he's going through, looks like Derringers or analog modules.
Yeah, these are some prototypes. This is our newest Ram Derringer that's hand built. So I built 12 of these that we're going to test. and they're actually in test right now. And then this is a test board I'm designing, which is pretty complicated, but it's actually quite fun to do this kind of design, kind of intricate.
So people just, I think with electronics today, guys, is that they assume that our iPhone comes from China, everything comes from China. Like, it's literally right here in Southern California. And not only is it in the US, but it's in California, which is the hardest place to do business. I think everyone knows that, right?
For sure.
California, but this is where the Banks family is rooted, and it's where we are. So for good or for bad, we're here creating incredible electronics. There's, yep, iDash right there. It's one of the older units. Yep, it's not a Pro, but so this is where the test equipment is designed and produced.
Yeah.
Back in here. Okay, so in this office, we have resistors, capacitors, everything we need to build a first article. But what's really neat here are these fixtures. These are the QC fixtures. We don't just build the iDash, the PedalMonster, or those devices. We build the rigs to test them. So once these are perfected, these will be shipped up the street, and our assembly house will use these. For example, this is a rig that will test a PedalMonster. Every single PedalMonster will go through this rig. It'll be pushed down in here. The pogo pins make contact. They'll program it. They'll test it. We make the test rigs for our own equipment. It's pretty wild. I don't know how many companies do that. You'll even see the little Banks logo down here. Again, BPSI, Banks per square inch. So,
And then you have more boards down here too that you guys have
there's
created.
a lot. These are all for the test rigs.
Wow.
It's important that you know what your own equipment is doing. And so you could rely on someone else to build that gear, but we do it all under this roof.
About an hour or so, real quickly, probably more than an hour before we even got here, he was still doing it. He's still going.
He's been sitting there in the air conditioning. He's going.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
and
this is no joke.
And his head never leaves that screen. Wow.
I think he's gonna order Uber Eats and just have it delivered right here so he can keep on working throughout his lunch break. Now, there's a truck over to my left, your right. You see that?
Yeah.
That's a donor truck.
Really?
Stay tuned.
Oh, that's a 25 plus donor truck.
So we can't show you this room because of the engine that's on the stand, but this is one of their dyno cells, and Jay just walked us through the whole thing. The thing that I felt that was like really cool, the water to actually run through the engine, because obviously it gets hot, is externally out of this room, and it's controlled and cooled down and everything, and they monitor it. Everything has any temperature gauge on it throughout the whole engine setup. They also have a way to actually increase or decrease the size of the inlet tubes, so then they can monitor what make changes with the engine on horsepower and other things that are variable with the intake tubes. They also have it on the exhaust side too as well, so they can test a 4-inch, a 5-inch, or go back and forth in between and just figure out where their components, what's best and whatnot, but just all for their statistics and whatnot that they're trying to figure out with their product. But really cool setup. I mean, wish we can show it, but we can't.
Sorry, guys.
This is the control room for dynos 1 and 2. The lights are off in here, but that is the defense engine behind that window, so hopefully you can't see it. That is the engine. We can talk about it. The fact that we have produced 29,000 engines for the JLTV. That's the U.S. Army's Joint Light Tactical Vehicle that replaced the Humvee. It's an up-armored trophy truck, basically, on air suspension. You can lay out flat. It's incredible. I was in Lake Havasu not long ago, and they had a flatbed full of them, and they were laid out like lowered mini trucks. It was the craziest thing. But we have produced all 29,000 of these engines. They start their life as the same engine that is in your truck, Justin. It starts its life as a Duramax at D-Max in Moraine, Ohio. But our parts are injected into the production line in Moraine, Ohio. So Banks parts are put into the Duramax engine, and then it becomes a Banks D866 engine while still on the D-Max production line. It's really cool. I've been there twice, and the people assembling the engines are wearing bank shirts. It's rad. Yeah, it's super cool to see. Like, you're like, wow, that's so cool. They're wearing, anyway. 29,000 of these engines so far, powering the entire fleet of JLTVs. It's pretty special. And it's not about power. A lot of guys are like, what kind of power do they make? It's not about power. It's about longevity and reliability. You do not want your soldier in the middle of like the Iraqi desert having some malfunction. This engine has to get our soldiers out of harm's way. So that is how Gale Banks won this contract, this engine contract. It's arguably one of the most important engine contracts of the century. And again, you're building an engine to send our defense, our armed soldiers into really hairy areas. That engine has to get them out. And so it's special that they chose us. All right, I'll give you $5, Justin, if you can tell me what this engine is.
Tell me what it is.
Ford 7.3 Godzilla.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Really? Okay.
Now, this is similar, very similar to the one that comes into your F-250, 350. This one came out of a motorhome. Starting in 2020, all gas-powered motorhomes are exclusively Ford F-53 chassis with the Godzilla engine in them. I can't tell you what we're doing to this, but if you know anything about Gale's history and small things that spin fast, some of those may end up on this engine.
Some snail action, you're saying?
Maybe so.
Maybe.
Yes.
See the ECM sitting right up top there.
Yeah.
I've never seen the 7.3 outside of a truck. It's a pretty big engine. Now this is a detuned one probably because it's in a chassis truck too, actually.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And in the motorhome, they are detuned between 70 and 100 horsepower considerably. And so we want to bring the horsepower back up for the motorhome fans, and also do it reliably. So we're known for giving you 1,000,000 miles or more. We are not just going to throw a tune on this and call it a day. No. You're pulling a lot of weight with a motorhome. You might even be pulling a Jeep or something behind that too. So this engine has to last. As you'll see with all of our engines in the dyno cells here, they've all got pressure probes in every bank. All the temp and pressure sensors go over to our Banks 4-channel analog modules over here. Yep, there's sensors everywhere. Yeah. It all travels into those modules over across the way. Each one of those modules, Justin, has 4 inputs. They're all daisy chained together, and they all go to iDashes in the control room.
Really?
Yes. So we are proving to you, the truck owner, that not only is the iDash for you, for the consumer, for towing and whatever else you're using it for, engine development, we're using it in the cell in a professional environment. We can't escape the dyno.
Yeah. Eddie's been on this thing for a long time now.
Yeah.
Hey Matt, come here real quick. Matt knows. This is Matt Gamble, one of our engineers here. Matt, can you bring Justin up to speed on this equipment right here, how it was used for our hybridizing our Humvee project?
Certainly, this is a high voltage battery simulator. So this allows us to run tests on a hybrid engine setup using an engine and an electric motor without having to have a high voltage battery in the system. This simulates the way that the battery will operate. It provides high voltage and allows us to run tests back to back to back to back without having to go through charge cycles and deal with the time and degradation to the battery and costs associated with that. So very expensive piece of test equipment that allows us to take our test cycle, shorten that up very quickly, and run through some very structured testing to get the results that we want. We also have, this is a supply of high voltage into an electric motor. Electric motors and hybrid applications also generate electricity. So we have a separate circuit that runs to a different location in the building that allows us to push energy out of the hybrid system. So this supplies energy, and then we can dump energy to test both like the regen capabilities to charge up a battery. We can both supply for testing for power from the motor to the wheels, and power from the motor to the battery. So pretty cool, pretty fun stuff.
He's a lot more eloquent than I am, isn't he?
Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
So why? What is all this? We were contracted by the U.S. Army to hybridize a Humvee, and that happened about 2 years ago. Very successfully, I may add. So if things go well, the Army may hybridize a large portion of the fleet. That's the plan. We'll see how that pans out. But you've got almost 100,000 Humvees in service around the world, and they're all diesel, 6.2 liter or 6.5 liter diesel engines that are 1980s technology. So with this guy's help and many others here, we may hybridize many of those vehicles.
And we can only share so many details about what that looks like, but there are some videos on our YouTube page that go into some of the specs that we're allowed to publicly share. So if you are interested in learning more about that Humvee program, go to the Banks Power YouTube page and watch that video for the publicly released information.
I watch it weekly, so whenever you guys drop a video.
This is where he's saying, stop shooting video of me because I can't say anymore. Let's go. What in the world is a tank engine doing at Banks? This is the sister engine to Jay Leno's tank car engine. If you go on YouTube and you look up Jay Leno tank car, you'll find a 22-foot long, polished, aluminum-bodied work of art powered by this same Continental V12. It's a Hemi, and it was used both in aircraft, tanks, etc. And it was left over by Jay. He's like, I don't need a second engine. You can have it. This was used to develop the intake, exhaust, the turbocharging system for his engine, and then we just kept it. But it's a spectacular looking car that Jay drives around Southern California, and it's wild looking with this kind of pouring out of the sides. It's a long, like, test tube looking open wheel car. It's wild.
Wow. V12. And it has a hemispherical intake.
Yeah. We're in the engine build room, and it's wonderfully air conditioned.
Yeah.
So as you'll notice, so Mike Keegan works in here, and he builds our prototype engines and does much more. This is a 630T, and it's a Banks 630T engine. It is a 3-liter, commonly known as an EcoDiesel. So you'd find this in a Jeep or a Ram, other Stellantis vehicles. You got the Mopar down here. This was the main power plant for our hybrid Humvee project. So it was a 3-liter EcoDiesel engine in front of a motor generator unit, and then an 8-speed transmission. So it could run silently using the batteries, or engine, or a combination of both. But this is just a second engine that we had that we were using for testing. This is our flow bench, and what this device does is it measures back pressure or resistance to flow in any kind of tubular device, intake, exhaust, or otherwise. There's an orifice right here, and there are basically 16 motors in here. Think of them as like glorified vacuum cleaner motors. More special than that. But you can set this machine to very, very accurately determine and measure if you have an intake here, like a filter stuck on here. And I'm giving something away right now. This is part of a video that no one's seen yet. But imagine that you put this here. It will tell us how much resistance to flow there is through this remaining portion right here, very, very accurately. And everything is tested here first. Then when we achieve the results that we want, then we put the product in the vehicle and we test it there. Cutting lubricants in this building right here. So you got a little bit of CNC here. We've downsized our CNC, honestly, because we have the luxury of being in Southern California, out towards Ontario, California, Chino. There's just so much CNC that it didn't make sense for us to have it all in-house anymore. We have so many good partners just locally within 10 minutes of us. So we've kind of downsized CNC a little bit. But as you'll see, we've ramped up our tube shop. Let's go this way. This is our 5-inch tube bender, and it's one of very few on the West Coast. This will bend 5-inch 409, 304 stainless, and that arm that's looking, it's perpendicular to us now, it will swing open. The operator will slide in a piece of this 5-inch stainless, okay? He slides it in, it will then grab it, and then when it grabs it, this door will swing this way, the number of degrees needed to bend it in the direction that he wants. And it's just really wild. I'll send you some here. Here's where we'll cut in some footage. So that's how it works. And what pops out is this guy right here. Mandrel bent 5-inch stainless exhaust. And what keeps these things from crinkling are these mandrels. Let me show you what these look like. These guys right here. These are made out of, this one I believe is brass. They're made out of different materials depending on what you're ultimately trying to bend. But think of it like a Chinese finger toy, where you're trying to bend something, but you don't want it to crinkle or crack. So you've got to fill the void and keep the internal surfaces filled, so to speak. I'm sure there's a better term for that, but this mandrel keeps it from bending and crinkling.
I see.
You've got your raw tubing outside. It comes in, gets cut, gets staged in one of these travelers, one of these containers, and it goes from stage to stage. We have welding, 7 welding stations, TIG and MIG. Then we have some more tube bending. These machines can do from 2 all the way up to 5-inch. They don't really do too much stainless on this side. Stainless is on the bigger machine. All of the fixtures are stored upstairs. So we can get a better look over here. Keeping it real in the US. I mean, it's a lot of manual labor happening. Deburring by hand over here. Those are all boost tubes.
Wow. Oh yeah, those are boost tubes.
By the way, we're not in China right now. It's right here. Exhaust hangers being welded on. Boost tubes being bent.
Moving it up.
Hey Jay, I can't believe that the employees here in China have American flags on their t-shirts.
It's crazy, right? Right? They impersonate everything we do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that products made in China are bad. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is we're doing our best to employ Americans here, and it's the way we've done business for many, many, many years, since 1958. And we're going to try to hold on to that as long as we can.
It's great to be proud to be in America because so many other people are going external overseas and whatnot. So it's great to be, I mean, it's a proud thing to
and look, there are some things that you cannot get here.
Right.
You just cannot, you have to buy overseas. There's nothing we can do about that. But everything that we can do here, we do.
Yeah.
What do you got there?
I got some more Banks products. Exhaust is available, ready to go for the Duramax Gen 2 L5P engine ones. You guys had those for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So-
this one's Jason's,
Yeah.
but yours is right there.
Mine's right there. So they're the same thing. Black tips too, right? We did black tips.
Black
for both.
tips.
Black tips for both guys.
Okay,
Yours. Promo code down below. Let's go. This is gonna help improve efficiency.
Absolutely. Very important to note that we're the only guys with a 5-inch DPF back for the 24, 25, 26 Duramax.
Yep.
And the reason is it ships with the patented, a patented Banks module that allows us to reduce back pressure after the DPF without setting a code. If you do that, you put on a 5-inch exhaust, you will set a code because the truck will think that the DPF is full because the Delta DPF pressure sensor thinks that there's too much soot and the DPF, and it sends you into limp mode. So what we've done is we've rescaled that Delta DPF pressure sensor with an electronic module that we have a patent for. So again, we're gonna get, look at this smoky mess he's got down here. Look at this. There you go.
Jay. Oh, look at that guy.
That? What
did
is that
that?
sooty mess right there? We need to do something about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are gonna do something about that.
We are.
Dude, thank you so much for taking the time out today, brother.
Yeah, my
This is
pleasure.
awesome. I learned a lot, and I feel a lot better when I buy Banks products. Seriously, like you guys, I've always known you guys go above and beyond, but this is truly, truly above and beyond. Like you guys love what you do. I can see that in your products. I can see that in your research and development, and it speaks mountains. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for the great products, dude.
Nah, thanks for putting up with me. I'm the dumbest person on campus here, so
Nah.
thank you for enduring me.
Now you're a jack of all trades, is what that is. So for sure.
I am surrounded by an incredibly talented group of people, so
Yeah.
it's a fun place to work.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell Gil Banks thank you.
I
really
will.
appreciate his work.
I will. You're the
Cool.
man.
Thank you.
Thank you.